Christine. Welcome to Book Talk. Today we're discussing Panic by Miss Lauren Oliver, also known as the author of the Delirium series. If you don't know what Panic is about, it basically takes place in the summer of this town called Carp, which I kept reading as crap. I'm reading the first few pages. She goes, nothing ever happened in crap. There were no surprises. I was like, oh, whoa, she lives in crap, New York. So they come from the town of Crap, New York. The main character's name is Heather. It's summertime and there's this tradition in Crap. Every summer, there's these games called Panic. They started it 7 years ago. Every day of the school year, everyone has to come in and donate $1. Every single day. And if you don't, the Panic Mafia is coming at you. They're gonna beat you up, they're gonna stuff you in a locker because you owe them $1. And then they take all these dollars from the entire year, and at the end of the year, that is the pot. So if you win this game Panic, you win that money. And it usually comes out to about $50,000. This year, it's at $67,000. $67,000 if you win these games. Now, what are these games? Well, they're called Panic, so it doesn't sound fun. The only people eligible to join these games are the seniors. So if you're a freshman and you're donating $1 every single day of the year, this game runs the length of the summer. There's a variety of different challenges. The first challenge is at the beginning of the summer, and that's where you decide, if you're a senior, if you want to enter Panic. You know, because entering it is a risk. The challenges are really dangerous. A lot of them are illegal. You know, all of them are illegal. They're illegal. They're not, you can get in lots of trouble if you're caught playing Panic. But, you know, $67,000! That could change the people of Crap's life. So many of those kids just want to get out of that town, but they don't have the money. They're going to be stuck there if they don't win Panic. Our main character is in a situation similar to that. She wasn't going to enter Panic, but last second she decides, you know what? Everything, I'm doing this. The first challenge is always the same. It's this cliff jump into the water. And if you jump into the water, you announce your name and then you become a Panic contestant. It's all very cool and scary at the same time. While the first challenge is cliff jumping, the other challenges are really, like, I don't want to be doing them. I don't want to be participating in them. I was freaking out for her in some of these situations because, like, you could just die. You could just die. And that'd be it. In honor of Panic, Lauren Oliver has actually been challenging herself leading up to the release of the book to do things that scare her. And Harper asked me if I would premiere the clip of Lauren facing one of her biggest fears. So in honor of Panic, enjoy the author jumping out of a plane.
Alright guys, so Lauren Oliver here. Panic is about a game of fear. So to test how well I would do in Panic, I'm doing things that scare me. So first on the list is skydiving. Hope to see you on the ground. Cross fingers.
Time to go flying.
Yes. Get me out of here.
One mile high. How you doing?
Doing awesome. I can't wait. Steady as a rock.
You're all hooked up. Harness and parachute arms secure. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
I don't think I could ever go sky. Like, that doesn't come anywhere near as close as I think Lauren's challenges in the book are dangerous-wise. The stakes in Panic are, like, up there. But applause for skydiving. I don't know what it would take for me to want to throw myself from a plane. If this sounds like something you would like, I encourage you to go read the book and then you can come back and discuss it in depth with us. I had a lot of fun reading Panic. I would rate it a 90% on my scale. I give it 4 to 5 stars on Goodreads. So that concludes my non-spoilery section for Panic. Bye, non-spoilery people, bye! It was so crazy to me, just opening up this book, and within the first 2 pages, Heather's like, I was gonna tell him I loved him tonight, and I was like,
Whoa! You just said you love someone. This is against the rules!
what is happening? It was kind of jarring. So I really enjoyed the way that Panic was told and how the story kind of unfolded. Lauren's really good at weaving together two different point of views or two different storylines in general. I always come back to Pandemonium in my head because I absolutely loved the way she weaved this story together, and they were both from Lena's point of view. But there were two different plot lines, and just the way they started intersecting and the way that it unfolded, it was so good! It was wonderful! It was a different type of good in Panic. It wasn't as exciting as Pandemonium. We'd see Heather talk and think about things, and then we'd see things that she was doing from Dodge's point of view, and it was interesting to see her relationship with Bishop from Dodge's point of view. Her and Bishop was just ridiculously frustrating. Come on, just like admit your feels for each other. Stop dilly-dallying around the issue. Bishop is so wonderful. He really grew on me. In the beginning, I wasn't sure how I felt about him just because the way Heather described him. Yeah, we're best buds, you know, like punch, hit, touchy, but we not together, you know. And then we meet his girlfriend Avery. It's just immediately obvious that they're still in love with each other. Okay, Bishop being the judge. I actually started thinking that pretty early on because of his weirdness. She kept pointing out how stressed he looked. So the whole story starts off with Heather entering herself in the game. Then we meet Dodge, and he has his sister Dana, and that whole story was just very heartbreaking. I loved the way Dodge described their relationship, and I was getting frustrated with Dodge and how he was thinking about how their relationship was changing throughout the book. He was kind of getting frustrated with Dana for just trying to live her life. Like, he was like, she's getting good at this, and like, I don't want her to get good at being a cripple. Like, she shouldn't be like this, but there's nothing she could do about it. And okay, that scene where he thought something was wrong because he got a text to come to the hospital, the whole time he's panicking. And we get there, Dana and his mom are super happy and they're waiting for him to arrive, and he's like, what's wrong? And Dana tells him that she moved her toes, and I was so happy. I started crying when I read that, and then Dodge is just like, oh, I thought something had happened. And Dana, you know, this is a huge thing for her, and I was so sad for her, for how Dodge reacted, and I just want to punch him. Being so insensitive, and it's just not good for Dana at all. He was being a brat, and he's like, I know I'm being a brat, but like, whatever. Like, I'm doing Panic for her. Like, what's that gonna do? She told you to stop. Dodge is just a really confused kid. I feel like he doesn't know what to do with himself. He doesn't know how to deal with anything he feels. He just, like, goes to these extreme places. Even with his love for Natalie. I don't really like the character of Natalie that much. Throughout the whole thing, I thought she was kind of wishy-washy. She made that pact with Heather, and Heather's like, you know, like, you're my best friend, let's do this and split it 50-50. Matt asks if they want to swear on it or do something to, you know, make it official, and Heather goes, I trust you. And then Dodge comes in, and Natalie doesn't get to say anything to kind of be like, yeah, okay, I trust you too, or something. She doesn't say anything. And right there, I was like, okay, this is fishy. And for a long time, I thought Natalie may be like a secret judge or something. I was thinking there was gonna be like a huge judge twist, and it ended up being Bishop, which is fine. But I was just anticipating something bigger with Natalie because she was so sketchy. Right after that, she appears at Dodge's house to take advantage of him as well. Let's split the pie 50-50. Nat literally got away with doing almost nothing. She got all the way to the end. She was like that girl on Survivor that partners up with the guy who's really good and smart and cunning and stabs people in the back and rides his coattails the entire time. And you can say, well, that's a strategy. But it's not an honorable strategy. I don't admire you for it. And when she did that, I was like, things just got bitchy up in here because we're rooting for Heather. Dodge is there, but I'm pretty sure you were rooting for Heather, were you not? And I was so mad. I was like, Natalie, you bitch. And I was expecting that to kind of explode at the end, but it was more towards the center. And Heather kind of expects crap like this from Natalie because Natalie is kind of naive about the things that she does. She thinks she's smarter than she is what I'm getting. She needs advice. She's one of those people who will make stupid decisions because she's not smart enough to make a smart one. She needs to discuss things with her friends before going through and having sex with a random stranger who tells her he could make her famous. God, and I felt bad for her at the end. I felt really bad for Dodge because, like I was saying before, he kind of throws himself into these emotions. In the beginning, he just said he was playing for revenge, and then further on in the book, he's like, I'm going to kill him.
And I'm like, whoa, hold up a minute. Is this Dodge?
And the same thing happened with Natalie and kind of falling in love with her. He had liked her from afar, so he had these expectations of what she was. She gave him some attention, and he just fell into this love for this person that he didn't fully know yet. think that she was only dating Dodge. She was acting like she was not only dating Dodge. She was acting like she was using him. And he knew that, but he was blinded by his big crush on her. That moment where she's really vulnerable and she's in the shower and Heather finds her kind of scrubbing at herself, it made me like her more. But when she was playing the game, I was like, I'm so freaking fed up with Nat. She doesn't have to do the first challenge. I was so mad when the first challenge didn't count. The first challenge was the one with the water towers and the plank, and you had to walk across it. And of course, Heather has to do it. Heather has to risk her life, and then it doesn't even count. What the actual F? I thought that Heather wasn't going to have to do the second challenge because she already did the first challenge. But no. And the second challenge is absolutely insane. Break into this drunken, crazed man's house and steal something. Nat didn't have to do the first challenge and she didn't do the second challenge. She stood outside and then ran away. I'm expecting them to have to come out with it and present it to Ray right there. But after they do this event, they take a picture of it and send it to him. They take a picture of, okay, the gun. They know what his special gun looks like, so that's fine. But Dodge steals like a butter knife and a salt shaker, and I'm just thinking, how do the judges know that these are actually from his house? Have they memorized what this guy's silverware looks like? Could I just have taken a piece of silverware from my own house and taken a picture of it and sent it to them? Bishop didn't think that one completely through. The next challenge, this haunted house that could collapse at any moment, and then it's set on fire. Excuse me. What is stupid? I guess they're stupid 17, 18-year-old kids. But they locked themselves in this closet. Now, do you think that someone followed them and locked them in the closet? Do you think someone pushed something in front of the door and that's why it was stuck? Because that's what I was assuming, because they heard those noises and they were like, oh, we're just being paranoid. But I feel like it might have been Ray pushing something in front of the door so they'd be locked in there. Anne was wonderful. I loved when Heather got that job. It helped her figure out basically what she wants to do. She figured out that she wanted to be a veterinarian, and before she thought she didn't even like animals, and it's probably because Natalie is really afraid of animals. They've hung out together their whole life, so she hasn't been around animals either. And she really enjoyed it, and it was really nice to see that. Her being happy. Because like Bishop said, she really always focuses on the bad. She always jumps to the worst conclusion. It was so frustrating when she like kissed Bishop and he was like, I have to tell you something. And then she's like, oh God, I'm sorry, I was an accident. I didn't mean to kiss you. I mean, just like, don't touch me, I'm fine. Listen to him for 5 seconds, you stupid. When he did finally get those words out and he told her, I did it for you so I could give you the money because I know you need it. And I was like, Bishop, I just want to hug you. When she first said that Anne had tigers, I was just like, haha, no she doesn't. People can't find out about tigers in someone's backyard and not want to use that in panic. It's so I was just waiting for that to happen. And when it did, and Nat had to be the one to go in there, I was crying when she went in there. I felt so bad for her. That was insane. When Ray was shouting out the seconds and she was in there and the tigers were getting really close to her. At this point, I was listening to the Social Network soundtrack. Actually, I was listening to the one song, the classic Social Network soundtrack song over and over again. Well, these solo challenges were insane. Like, playing Russian roulette, really, oh my God, the blinding crossing the highway. Okay, I'm picturing like a 6-lane highway with a divider. I didn't realize before they started that they were only going the street to the divider, not like hopping over and crossing the other side as well. I was freaking out. First, they said they had to cross this highway, and I was like, okay, I guess they can do that. It's really risky, but I guess they can do that. And then he's like, oh, wearing this. Are you freaking kidding me? That's like a death sentence. What the heck? They have to go back blindfolded? They're not used to being blind. I would never have done that highway thing. Ever. Unless, no, never. No, I don't know. No, I wouldn't have done it. And I wouldn't have done the Russian roulette. I would have done the tigers maybe if they were really far away, and then I would have left the second that they got up. Like Natalie went in there as they're getting up and coming towards her. What are you doing? Of course I cried when Heather and Anne talked out the whole tigers thing and how she cares about her. I cried a lot at the end. Now we have the final challenge, the joust. There's so much build up to this joust scene. You're really anxiety ridden by this point because Dodge has made a homemade bomb and put it in Bishop's car and they kidnap Dodge. We go to the joust and I'm expecting this huge scene, this huge anxiety-ridden scene, and this is the only part of the book that I wasn't really happy with. Like, if this end had been grander, I would have given this 4.5 stars, but I feel like the ending was rushed, that end scene, because we worked up to it for so long. I wanted to see that scene kind of from an outsider's point of view as well, because seeing from Heather's point of view is blurred and quick. I wanted to see what happened directly after the tiger with Anne and with Bishop. I wanted to see that conversation with Bishop. I think that would have made the whole thing come full circle, because instead we jump to the epilogue and everything's hunky-dory already. And, you know, Heather knows that it won't be hunky-dory forever and there will be hard times. But we don't see her resolve everything. And that's a big part of making things better. The way it was marketed, I was expecting it to be like Divergent. This is your worst fear. Get through it and calm yourself. It was more about accepting fear, being hopeful, you know, learning to be optimistic about things. It was a nice change. It was different from the normal contemporaries I usually pick up. And I'm glad I read it. If you had to do one of the tasks, which one would you choose? You can't choose the jumping one. That one's way too easy. I guess I'd obviously choose the first one, going across the water towers. I think that's the best of all the terrible ones that they had to do. Thanks for watching. I'm Christine. I'll talk to you next time. Bye!